Devastated Northern Rivers region needs right now.
We are expecting to see storms produce large hail, damaging winds and intense rainfall. So for an area under recovery, that's not great news.
Further south, the East Coast assault continued today with Sydney hammered by heavy rain. Fresh flood and severe weather warnings issued for the Illawarra, Shoalhaven, Wollongong, Central Coast and Hunter region.
I implore people, if you see water across the road, please do not drive through those floodwaters. And if we do give evacuation warnings, get ready with your valuables and the important documents that you might need to take.
Up in Queensland, the state government has pitched in $2.1 million to kickstart the public flood recovery appeal.
That money is going to go directly to $500,000 each to Australian Red Cross, Lifeline, the Salvation Army and St Vincent de Paul. Now a further $100,000 will go to Give It.
11 Queenslanders have been killed in the floods. There are new flash flooding and severe weather warnings issued right across southeast Queensland. But it's the communities across the border in northern New South Wales that continue to bear the brunt of the flood crisis and its aftermath.
It's starting to stink and smell. There's people that haven't changed their underwear for 3-4 days, cleaning up, people with cuts that are blowing up and gone septic.
Feeling forgotten, abandoned, desperate for assistance of any kind.
There's just volunteers like myself that have come from nearby areas every day bringing food, supplies, helping these boys behind me. That's a family in there that have lost everything. They've had no official help yet.
The long road to recovery paved with uncertainty, fear and frustration as locals band together, all asking the same question.
We need official government help. Like, where's the government? Where are you right now?
An increased Defence Force presence was more visible today, but some locals are questioning whether they're putting photo ops before more meaningful help.
This is unbelievable. Doing a good job, guys. Make sure you get it filmed.
I'm absolutely satisfied with the Defence response and the bravery exercised by these people, and I won't tolerate one piece of criticism of the ADF from what I've seen.
So, as these communities brace for more rain, when will the pleas be answered?
It feels desperate, it feels hopeless. People need to know that there's some end of the light of the tunnel and they're getting some real help. We need some official people running around. There's no sight of them.
Well, one of those communities worried about what the future holds is Coraki, south of Lismore, and we're joined now by a local, Bianca Mavir. Bianca, I believe that you've got a pretty full house there at the moment. Tell us what's going on.
So we have 11 displaced locals in our home at the moment. We sort of started rescuing people when this all began, and my husband was bringing them back to our house. Not us alone, but many members of the community. And because we have a home on higher ground here with our 2 kids, we were bringing evacuees here. So some of them have stayed because the evacuation centres are terrible living conditions. We have 11 people in our home at the moment.
Bianca, we're hearing all sorts of stories about the absence of much government support in some of the flood-affected areas. What's going on in Coraki?
To be honest, the last couple of days are better. We have and the army here now. Unfortunately, those first 3 days, they left it to a band of locals. You know, we've all known each other all our lives, so we banded together as a community and we rescued people and we clothed them and we gave them food. And if it weren't the case, I think a lot of people would have died here.
Bianca, the Bureau of Meteorology is predicting more rain right across the flood-affected regions of New South Wales, which I imagine is the last thing that you and your community need at the moment. Are you guys ready for that? How are you feeling about that?
We have a lot of traumatised people here and we're just taking it day by day, but I won't pretend that we're not scared because we feel like we're the forgotten place, and we worry that if it becomes an emergency here again, that perhaps we won't get support. As was the case the first time. And we don't know that any of us have the resources now to help ourselves like we did the first time. So we are scared, I would say we are, yeah.
So, Bianca, I think everyone watching this feels quite helpless. If they're not in the flood-affected zone, they want to help you. So can you tell us, so we can get it out there, what you guys need at the moment, whether it's government assistance or supplies, or what is it?
I would say more government assistance would be great because there's a little bit, but it's not even going to cover it. We have plenty of donations now. We've been so lucky. People are so kind and generous. But it's just boots on the ground at this point. We need volunteers to help the elderly clean their homes. We need tradies here if they can volunteer their time. You know, we just need the rebuild to begin so that we can have some hope on the horizon. Honestly, we're feeling really hopeless.
Bianca, I know the Defence Minister, Peter Dutton, today has said that he's not going to tolerate any criticism of the Defence Forces. From someone in one of these communities, is the criticism of the ADF or is it of government and the hesitancy in deploying and helping?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not the Defence Force at all. It's more that we had no communication here, and also that they stopped rescuing us when the sun went down. So if we hadn't rescued one another, people would have died. It's not the ADF at all. I think they've been incredible. We've spoken to some of them today and they're wonderful. Yeah, we know that resources are finite, but we just want our government to be better prepared next time. We will work with them if they will talk to us, but they did not communicate with us at all.
Obviously, there's a lot of politicians now saying, you know, that they're throwing everything at the flood-affected areas, that none of this could have been foreseen. This is a once-in-a-thousand-year flood. But when you hear that, what do you make of it?
I agree with it in a sense. You know, like I say, resources are finite. They can only do so much. But I will say that we've known all these years this has been a flood-affected area, and I just don't think it's okay to have emergency services that are getting phone calls that of people that are going to drown and they say, sorry, we're not sending anyone out at night. I think that they need to think of some way to solve that problem, because that's not acceptable. You can't tell people, I'm sorry, but you have to die. That's what it felt like here on the first few nights.
Bianca, by any measure, what you're all going through is a lot. You okay?
Yeah, I think so. For now, we're not going to try to process it now, because I think when the work is done, maybe we won't be. I don't know if, yeah, we're getting through. We are, yeah.
Bianca Mavir there in Coraki. Good luck to you and the 11 others in your home. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.